Evelyn was a seasoned radio host in the small town of Ravenwood. She was known for her calm, soothing voice and had a loyal audience that tuned in every night to hear her late-night show. However, one eerie Thursday night, she decided to do something different, a live call-in segment for ghost stories. She announced it on air, inviting listeners to share their creepiest experiences. The first few calls were typical urban legends and ghostly encounters, nothing she hadn't heard before. Then came a call from a man named Samuel. He claimed to be living in a house with a dark history, built over what used to be a graveyard. Evelyn's interest was piqued. Samuel's voice was shaky as he recounted the strange occurrences in his home. Footsteps in the attic, cold spots, and disembodied whispers. He told her that he often found himself waking up in different parts of the house, unsure how he got there. As he told his story, listeners could feel the fear in his voice. Evelyn, too, felt a chill run down her spine. Samuel then mentioned an old radio he had found in the attic. It was dusty and ancient, but when he turned it on, it broadcasted a station that shouldn't exist. A station that played old-timey music and read news from decades ago. He described one night when a voice on the radio said his name and started narrating events from his life, things no one else could possibly know. The voice even described what he was doing at that exact moment. Suddenly, during the call, there was a loud crash, and Samuel screamed before the line went dead. Silence hung heavy in the air. Evelyn was visibly shaken, but tried to maintain her composure as she went to a commercial break. When she returned, she decided to play it off as a prank. As the night went on, the studio became eerily quiet. She felt an unusual cold settle in. Suddenly, her own radio equipment started to act up, broadcasting static-filled snippets of an old radio show. The voice on the broadcast said her name, mirroring what Samuel had described. Panic set in, and Evelyn frantically tried to turn off the equipment, but it wouldn't stop. The voice on the radio began narrating her actions, down to the bead of sweat rolling down her forehead. Her eyes darted to a corner of the studio where an old, dusty radio stood. A radio she had never noticed before. The voice from the radio said, "You shouldn't have ignored the warning, Evelyn." In a heartbeat, the studio doors slammed shut and the lights flickered out. As she screamed, the broadcast signal went dead. The next morning, the radio station's crew found the studio empty. Evelyn had vanished without a trace. The old radio was still there, static hissing from its speakers, as if waiting for its next host.